Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first Q&A leading up to the 4th episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, of course, on AMC. This one's called Blood in the Streets. Spoiler warning as usual if you're not caught up for Fear Dead. Man, episode 3 was just really incredible. I'm really just, oh man, I was so impressed with it. It's crazy. And, you know, you can start to see some people are coming back. They're like, you know, yeah, the first couple episodes weren't very good for Fear, but the third episode of this season was definitely really good. And I think personally it should be like our new expectation that with Fear and just the way Dave Erickson runs the show, when it starts off at the beginning, don't expect the premieres to be crazy, but then as you get into the show, you can expect some great episodes here and there. The thing is AMC is doing, 15 and 16, so they're doing 31 episodes of Zombie Apocalypse Walking Dead a year. That's a lot considering, 52 weeks a year and 31, more than half the time we're getting a brand new 40-minute, with the intro and everything. It's like an hour block of TV, each weekend. So that's pretty sweet, man. I think they're doing about the best they could probably do. And not every episode is going to be incredible, blow you away. It isn't with the regular Walking Dead either. There's, especially earlier on in the show, there's some episodes that are a little bit slower, and not every storyline, not every, episode is going to get everybody really going and riled up and loving every single part of it. So it's just kind of how it is. And I'm really happy with episode 3. And, if we get episodes like that every so often, we don't have to get them all the time, but every few episodes, if they throw in one like that with Fear, I will be more than happy with the series and view it as a successful companion series to the original Walking Dead, which after that episode, I feel like, yeah, it is. It's really cool to have, even though sometimes not that much happens in certain episodes, I feel comfortable saying. First question is from drumancole. He says, Trev, I have a question for the Q&A. From the look at the end of the promo with Strand laying in the water, does it look like Strand might be dead? He isn't moving. Would they kill him off so soon? What do you think? So you're right about that. You do see him in the water like that and everything. And we do know that Daniel is pretty pissed at him. Dan's like, we don't need him. Get rid of him. We don't need him. Don't want him. Don't need him. But I don't think they'd kill off Strand right now. I really don't. I like people that are comparing. We've got someone here later on who compared him to Shane. Adrian Brown says Strand is definitely the Shane in the series, takes no shit. And I agree with that. He's got a lot of comparisons to where Shane was in the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead, where he was a lot more cutthroat than a lot of the rest of the group. And with the Randall situation, he's willing to just kill Randall in cold blood if he needs to, if it means keeping the group safe. So they're both very similar, and I can definitely see Strand kind of losing it a little bit more and getting to that Shane type range. Because Shane, of course, he's beating the crap out of Ed, which was warranted because Ed's hitting Carol, and doing some of the other stuff he was doing, kind of fighting with Rick, having some issues like that. It was a great storyline to see a member of the group kind of against the others in this Civil War type. It's not really because the group is small, but just kind of having the group at odds with each other, having members like that fighting for superiority, fighting for leadership and systems is really interesting to see. That's one of the biggest things about human beings is the dominance hierarchy that we go down. We create in almost every system you see, whether it's a business, a school, almost any system you can think of, there's always some kind of superiority chain or dominance chain. It's animalistic, really. It comes back to some of our earliest parts of evolution, animals, and they even have their own dominance hierarchy too, and even reptiles do, and they understand. And yeah, so it's interesting to see when you have characters fighting for who's going to be the top dog of a group, and you've got Strand, and he certainly commands himself to be, wants to be. You got Travis, who I would say kind of is, aside from Strand, and how are they going to work together, and how is that going to go, and whether or not they're going to stay as one cohesive, bigger group, or if Strand's going to go off. But either way, I don't see Strand as lasting with this group forever. I don't think they all fit together, but I don't see them killing him off right now either. I think there's something it's probably part of an animation that we're seeing. Something happens. Maybe he, I don't know, falls down and falls in the water or something, and Nick has to jump in and save him or something like that. It's really hard to make predictions about little clips like that because we have no context to base it on. I'm sure in the context of the show it will make sense. Maybe he'll get blown down or something, or who knows what happens when they get attacked or get knocked out, or I don't know, man. It's hard to say. But I don't think that's his death scene. I don't think he's going to be killed off in episode 4. Otherwise, they threw us through some kind of crazy loop where, the pacing all of a sudden just changed into a whole different show from episodes 1 and 2. So, but I would be shocked if they killed off Strand this week. I don't think they will. I don't think that's what we're seeing. Also, if it was his death scene, they probably would not put it in a promo. So it's just that. Granted, sometimes they slip up, especially with international promos, that's for sure. Next one's from Edmond Ko, and Ed asks, all right, I confess, or he says, Fear of the Walking Dead is a good show. So I decided to include that comment, and, after episode 3, I think a lot of people are feeling the same way, that it is really a great show, but you got to give it a chance and you got to be patient. And I'm really glad that they're doing it because it just gives us something there, Walking Dead wise, when normally there wouldn't be anything. So it's great to have. Next one's from Wyatt McCann, and he says Nick is definitely the best / most interesting character in the show. Which is interesting to me because everybody has kind of somebody they like right now in the show, but for me it's changing. Like, I do like Nick a lot. I think he's a really fun character. But I like Strand too, and kind of the way he goes, and Daniel, and even Travis I like a lot too. So at this time it's hard for me to say like who I like the most because everybody's changing so fast. And the group dynamics and everything are pretty interesting to see what's going to happen, before the end of the season. Maybe after this season's over, I could do like a top 5 favorite characters updated or something. But Nick is definitely in the top 5 for me for sure. He's a really fun character. Next one's from Dylan Voorhee. And he says, Trev, I don't know if you missed it, but Michelle Ang, who is a.k.a. Alex and Charlie, I guess maybe she either gave a fake name or they changed her name from Charlie to Alex, was added to the main cast. Her name popped up right before Ruben Blades, so she's a main character. Thoughts? ? And then Mitch replied, she is. Synopsis for episode 5 says Travis runs into a familiar face, thinks she'll be back then. So he thinks she's gonna return then. I would think she would, like, based on the fact that they had the Flight 462 and that they went through all of that. I tend to think that they would do that for like a main character, and that she is maybe more fleshed out in a lot of ways and had more time, if you've seen that, than a lot of the other characters maybe that we come across and we will come across, and also even some of the ones that are in the show now that we haven't had as much time with. She actually, she's got a very tragic and interesting story arc with her trying to protect Jake and feeling responsible for him because of the plane and the ticket and everything. So I really like the character a lot, and I felt brutal when Strand cut it. See, that's what I said about your favorite character. Strand was kind of my favorite, but there I felt like, oh man, he didn't cross the line. He cut the line. He's like, that's it. Now, why did he do that? We're going to find out. Maybe he got nervous because they were going too slow and he couldn't really speed up the boat because he knew that, they were there, and if he went too fast, he would flip over or something. But then why wouldn't you just let them on and take a chance? I don't know, but maybe we're going to see next week if this family gets allowed on and then they attack them. Maybe Strand is right to be kind of careful in this kind of deal. So it's ever changing right now who my favorite character is, and based on what they do, depending. Next one's from Toryhan Ferguson, and he or she says Nick can give Ofelia what Salazar can't, like the cross or the antibiotics he found, and let's not forget the D. That's a terrible comment. I wanted to add it. This is funny. But also, too, about the cross. Somebody else said, too, that with the rosary, maybe it's some kind of cross between the shows, because you had, of course, Carol who had hers, and there was a heavy concentration on that, and now you're seeing it in Fear. We'll see what they do with it the rest of the season, if it does become important in any way. But I do think it's kind of cool. Maybe a coincidence, unless they checked the writing with both and decided they would do something like that. But otherwise, it might just be a coincidence. But, that's something that's important to a lot of people. Of course, their religion, zombie apocalypse, something like that happens, life or death. death situations, it's definitely has a place there, and people keeping hope in that, and something that's been around, humanity for so many thousands of years, that it's cool that they kind of work it in here and there because it's so important to people. Next one's from Dadrian Brown, and he says, Strand is definitely the Shane the series takes no shit, like I said earlier. And that's true, he does take absolutely no shit. He cuts the shit out. Cut this shit out. Next one's from Lewis Morris, who says, do you think that Jack's group, in brackets, the guy that was talking to Alicia on the radio, could run into Alex, and when Jack's group eventually catches up to Strand, and the group that Alex could be with them? Just a theory. Keep up the great work, man. Congrats on 200,000 subscribers. So thanks, Lou. Almost there, man. Got a few thousand left, and thank all you guys for your support as well too. It's really cool to even get close to that number, because when I started on YouTube, there was nobody that had even 100,000. It was just so hard to do because there wasn't that many people who had accounts, and it's just changed so much. So it's really cool to even be there, and I'm just really happy to have you guys there, with me, and so we can talk and this kind of stuff here. I mean, comments and stuff. We got a really good one coming up with insight that I didn't notice, so we'll get to that in a minute. You guys are the best. That's all there is to it. But to answer your first question, yeah, I think we're going to see that Jack guy again. I don't think they showed that to us for no reason. They've got a lot of these different little mini groups out there. You've got Jack, you've got Seth and his little bro, and now you've got Alex out there. They're really kind of showing us a lot of different characters in this world, and they're bumping into people, which you'd think they would, because it's different from The Walking Dead, where Rick was in a coma and all of a sudden he wakes up and everybody's dead. In this case, it's kind of like that too, but you see the napalming and you see kind of it all going down. So there are still a lot more survivors right now, because a lot of them haven't been converted into zombies yet, versus in the original Walking Dead, when Rick woke up, the understanding is pretty much everybody is already dead. There's maybe like 10% left or something, or less than that, like 5% left population. In Fear right now, the number would be quite a bit higher, I would think, at least for now. And it'd be changing every day. Next one's from Nathan Day. And he said, hey, Trev, love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. Just wondered if you have thought any more about the theory that Fear is following the rise of the Whisperers. When Nick used the guts trick, he seemed a lot more into it than Rick and Glenn, and these people seem to be adapting a lot more quickly to the harshness of reality than the survivors did, in brackets, excluding Shane. So some of them are, yeah, that's true, and Daniel certainly is, and it depends on what kind of people that they are. But yeah, you're exactly right. But with regards to the Whispers thing, I did a video was that like 8 months ago now, back in the fall or something like that? I don't even remember, on Madison possibly being Alpha, if you guys remember that. And some people were really pissed I even answered that in a Q&A. So, sorry guys if you get upset at viewer questions. Remember, they're not always my idea. They're viewer questions a lot of times too. But I think it'd be really cool if they were to do it. It's just that they would have to have Madison probably cross over from one show into the other. And if they were going to do that, it would probably result in the cancellation of Fear. And business-wise, I highly doubt AMC would do that unless they were able to figure something out and have her leave the show. Or it would be a little tricky. I think it'd be worth it, and it'd be really cool to see, because then you get to see kind of the evolution of Alpha as she gets to that point, and that'd be even cooler. But I don't think that's what we're seeing. It'd be really neat, but I just don't think that's a very low probability. But it'd be cool, and I'd like to see it. So, next one's from Daniel Crowley. He says, Jake and Alex got stranded. Nice. I like that. And the final one's from Titan Warlord, and he says, the show's title was The Crab Zombie, Ouroboros, eating your own tail. He was eating the same bloody crabs over and over again because he had no guts. And I thought that was a great observation. You're absolutely right, I think, because Ouroboros, as I talked about in the predictions video, because I didn't know what it was, it is a snake eating its own tail in a cycle. It's cyclical, over and over and over and over and over again, eating its own tail. The zombie Nick ran into there, or fell down into, is eating the crabs. The crabs are coming down, digesting, but then his stomach is open, so they're falling out. And then he's doing it again, and he's doing it again, and he's doing it again. Oh, so Nick put him out of his misery, man. So great Great insight, Titan, because a lot of people, I didn't notice it. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably didn't either. But now that I said it, everyone's going to act like, oh, Trev, you're just an idiot, man. We all notice you're a dumbass. You know? That's what I get. It's the internet. The internet's the internet. And speaking of which, with regards to Game of Thrones, for example, and, Fear, on Sunday nights, there was some arguments and trolling and all. I'm not going to ask you guys not to troll on the internet. It's the internet. It's like asking, the internet not to be the internet. It doesn't make any sense. It goes along with it. It comes with the territory, so to speak. So that I expect. All I'm asking is please try to be respectful to each other who like the other show. I'm trying my best. Sunday nights, I got to review both now, do predictions for both. It makes it a long night for me, about 5-6 hours in total of filming and watching the episodes and everything. But I'm going to be doing it. Going to do it for you guys. But please be respectful to each other. I reviewed Fear first on Sunday. It's just kind of the way it worked out, and I had AMC on. I was like, oh shit, let's just review this first. Game of Thrones requires a little bit more time. I got to analyze it and think about it a little bit more because and the episode's a bit longer. It's like 53 minutes. So it's a little bit more to bite off. But I will be doing the Game of Thrones reviews each Sunday night and the Fear reviews each Sunday night. It's just sometimes the upload might be a little late because I have to do both. So just a heads up for that, guys. This doesn't mean I like one show more than the other or this kind of deal. Just because I do it first or whatever, please don't be offended. It's just, it is what it is. And please be respectful to each other. You got Game of Thrones fans calling Fear the Walking Dead trash, and you got Fear the Walking Dead or Walking Dead fans calling Game of Thrones trash. So it's I can't win. I'm stuck in the middle. I like them both. I don't see why you can't like them both. I don't understand why you can't be like, hey, I like Fear the Walking Dead, and I like The Walking Dead. Or I like Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead, and Better Call Saul. I like it all. I don't see why you have to hate one and only be like, I only like this show, and I don't like any other shows ever. It's like saying, oh, I don't like this video game is the only one I'll ever play. I never like any other. I don't know. It's not me. So it's up to you guys. Whatever, do your thing. I'm not saying don't troll, but try to be a little bit more respectful to each other because it got a little real on Sunday night. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please don't forget, as always, please thumb up the videos, guys. It basically is telling me, Trev, we like your channel, we like what you're doing, and we want you to keep going. So I'm going to thumb it up. Also, share and fave, same thing, same deal. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you want to see more videos from me, then subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video today. I'll see you guys again real soon. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. See you guys later.